got
we're gonna
confused
draw
and
a little
crashed at the
cat.
same time, it would disrupt every
First,
aspect of human life.
you want
Now, the federal government is comparing Y2K to a huge natural disaster, like an
a
earthquake, a
little
hurricane, or a
curvy.
tornado.
But computers weren't the only devices
Yeah,
that
like
could
a
crash.
upside down
All
V.
devices
Yes,
containing
I mean,
computer chips ranging from elevators to
I'm
heating
using
systems to
string.
medical equipment were at risk. Around the globe, there were about 40 billion computer chips in operation, working in all kinds of machines, from microwaves to power plants to life support machines. And on January 1st, 2000, this date glitch would make them all crash at the same time. To many, this was the end of the world as we know it. But out of all the issues that could arise from the Y2K bug, 4 predictions were particularly scary. One Y2K prediction was that prison doors would automatically open, freeing violent criminals. People believed this could happen because most prison doors were controlled by computers. The anxiety went from bad to worse when in 1998 an article titled "Prisoners Await Y2K Day" was published. One part of the article suggested that prisoners were aware of the Y2K bug and were waiting for January 1st, 2000, when prison doors would open, allowing them to storm the streets. However, this problem wasn't as bad as the next one: planes falling out of the sky. If air traffic control systems and plane computers malfunctioned, it could lead to mid-air collisions or planes even getting lost over the ocean. Since there's so many planes up in the sky at any given time, people pictured a scenario where planes would be dropping and exploding all over the world. While planes falling is scary, the
Yes, I am watching
is
something.
more bizarre. After Y2K, people will be using toilet paper as currency. This made sense because computers ran the bank and the stock market. So if banks and financial systems crash, money might become worthless. If that happened, people would have to barter with essential items like toilet paper. One Y2K expert suggested people stockpile toilet paper in case they need to trade it like money. In each of these Y2K scenarios, the world continues to exist, but there was one outcome that could literally destroy the planet. By the late 90s, many countries had nuclear weapons. For instance, Russia and America had 4,400 nuclear weapons, more than enough to destroy the world, ready to be launched at a moment's notice. These countries also set up computerized early warning systems to detect if another country fires a missile at them. One major fear was that the Y2K bug would make these early warning systems malfunction, which could trigger a false alarm that one country had launched a missile at another. In confusion, countries might shoot nuclear missiles back and forth, leading to a nuclear apocalypse. But even if early warning systems didn't malfunction, there was another problem. Every nuclear weapon contained thousands of chips and millions of lines of computer code, making it extremely vulnerable to the bug. If Y2K messed up any aspect of the code, nuclear weapons would accidentally activate and explode, obliterating the planet. And this wasn't a far-fetched idea. A nuclear security report claimed the Defense Department will be unable to stop the Y2K bug from infesting thousands of nuclear weapons all over the world. Once the media picked up on all of these Y2K predictions, people went mad. In the late 90s, TV networks pumped out dozens of shows on the Y2K situation, painting nightmarish scenarios of what might happen. These shows were meant to educate viewers about Y2K. However, all they did was make people panic. NBC aired a movie depicting the worst-case Y2K scenario. It was called Countdown to Chaos, or Y2K the movie, and it was 1 hour, 33 minutes of non-stop disaster and tragedy. The movie showed planes crashing, power grids failing, and people running all over the place. It was so over the top that the banking industry asked TV stations not to air the film because it would scare off customers. However, NBC decided to show the movie regardless. News reports were another source of anxiety. News channels ran special segments on Y2K almost every night, interviewing experts who described the worst-case scenarios.
Why? Because Y2K is the first end-of-the-world prophecy in history where something will definitely happen on the predicted date. And you don't have to have religion to believe.
The news showed crowded grocery stores full of people buying large amounts of water, food, and supplies. Time magazine highlighted the panic with a dramatic headline: "End of the world, even the president got involved." Throughout 1999, President Bill Clinton made several speeches about Y2K, urging businesses and citizens to prepare for potential problems.
This is not one of those summer movies where you can close your eyes during the scary part.
Now the question is, what did people do when they thought the world was about to end? How to survive the apocalypse? With millions worried, they started to think about how to survive the Y2K disaster. This need to survive led to the creation of businesses selling Y2K survival products and services. Before long, helping people survive Y2K became a multi-million-dollar industry. In 1999, a new commercial appeared on TV screens across America, except this ad looked more like a horror movie with dramatic music, ambulance sirens, and a lot of darkness.
It's 2 a.m., January 1st, year 2000. Power's out. It's pitch black. You need light. If you planned ahead, you'll have one of these.
They were advertising a new product called the Y2K Survival Kit, which was basically a box of items people might need if computers stopped working.
Call now and order your ultimate Y2K survival kit. You get the wind-up and solar-powered flashlight radio, video diagnostic software, food samples and preparation guide, a $90 value, all for only $49.95.
From well-known brands to smaller companies looking to make a quick profit, it seemed like everyone was making Y2K survival kits. And since almost everyone on the planet was worried, the kits were flying off the shelves. A company called Preparedness Resources was one of the biggest manufacturers of survival kits, and they made a killing. In barely 12 months, Preparedness Resources sold $16 million worth of survival kits. Preparedness Resources had been in business for 25 years, but thanks to the Y2K panic, 1999 was the most profitable year they have ever had. The company also insinuated a no-return policy on all the kits sold. However, those who didn't want to buy pre-made survival